All right, welcome everybody, and congratulations, Varut, on winning this month's Anim challenge. You beat out a lot of fierce competition, my man. It was really tough to choose, but I think overall yours was looking fantastic. I really dig the kind of tech noir style, the colorfulness of it. City in the background, it kind of feels like this could be like an assassin in the future or something. The direction is nice, actions are cool, so I was glad that this one won because it was my personal favorite, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to go through together to see what we could maybe improve or just do differently to take it to the next level. But yeah, congrats. So let's jump right into it. I'm sure everybody's seen this shot by now, but I'm just gonna play it a few more times, and I think overall it kind of really works nicely. The camera is cool. The actions are there. I think you had like 8 seconds runtime for this, and it kind of is really nice that you can, tell a story in such a short amount of time. So that's very well thought out and very well made. I think from like uh, a camera standpoint, I'm not even gonna go into that very much because this is more of an animation feedback kind of thing. Like the dynamic angles you have going here, it's really cool to see like the wide angle where you're in closer, and it kind of feels like the camera that is on a car is kind of right in the middle of it. So I think that's really cool. Um, so if we let me just delete that right there. Um, so if we start from the top, I kind of feel like if you uh, if you come from here, like the car is jumping, I guess what I what I feel you could maybe just kind of strengthen is where's it coming from? Like, is it jumping off a ramp or something? It kind of feels like it's doing a bunny hop like skaters do, like it's just all of a sudden jumping, and there's no reason necessarily for it to jump. So maybe what I'm kind of missing here is like to see where it's originating from. I know every frame counts in when you only have like 200 frames or something to work with, but it would be nice to just to kind of see why it's flying in like that, because it does kind of feel like it's flying, like the DeLorean has like wings or something, which would definitely be a cool feature to add to this car. Um, but I feel like it's kind of missing that reality because of that, because it feels like it's just starting hovering like around here-ish. Same thing kind of goes for the motorcycle, even though with him I kind of believe it more. Maybe also because he's a little bit like hidden, so I'm not sure. Maybe you would maybe push him a little bit more screen right so we can see the motorcycle all the way through. We kind of lose him for like one, two, three, 2.5 frames. Um, Maybe it would be nicer, to just be able to follow that guy as well, because I really like how his headlights and his face, which is like bright yellow and neonish, the way you can already follow him from here all the way through. It kind of catches my eye. So it would be cool if if we could actually still see him on these frames around here. Anyway, so we got the car jumping in. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, and then we got the biker riding super close, and he's on his tails. I really like this stretch on this frame, like boom. Even though I feel like you definitely need to make the car stick to the ground first before you squash it. Um, but going back first, like I feel on both jumps on the car here and then definitely on the bike as well around here-ish. Um, I kind of feel that we need to take a step back and just revise what these jumps are about, because what you kind of have now is I feel like both the car and the bike are kind of slowing down before they do the impact. Like if you check out the logo here, for example, it's like the car is afraid to bounce or something, and it's trying its darndest to not smash its face into the ground. So definitely try to you can try to strengthen that impact, especially on these last few frames. And the same thing for the bike, especially here on like the second time with the front wheel. When it hits the ground, it feels like these two frames, I guess 48 and 49, they're super close to in height, and then he just smashes down. I guess what I would see is like boom, boom, and then boom or something. You can maybe even take a frame out there. Um, you don't necessarily need that, I think, just to make that impact really forceful. The back wheel actually works much better. Um, so this is one thing with the landing, and another thing that kind of catches my eye, and I know this is super cartoony, and we're not necessarily supposed to believe it's real, but I kind of feel like both the car and especially the motorcycle, like they're jumping in an arc, like uh, which is nice and it's visually appealing, but like what exactly changes their 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 path, right? Like it's like this motorbike is jumping this way first, but then he's kind of flying this way, then he's landing over here, which which would be like here-ish or something. Um, so I would definitely try to kind of make that a little bit clearer, like from a top view. If this is like the bridge, and then we got the highway coming underneath, kind of like this. Uh, what I would let me just find a different color here. What I kind of feel like the bike is jumping here. It's coming from here, but he's flying like this ish. I mean, I'm not sure if this is exactly what's happening, but I kind of feel like from camera view, this is what we see, and I would definitely feel like you can maybe try and make it a little bit more realistic, like just have it a little bit straighter, have it a little bit more believable. Um, but uh, but I do like the pose. Like this pose is super cool. It's like the motorcycle pose, where he has where he had the handlebars twisted, and he's just taking some hang time, and maybe that's something that you can add just ever so slightly more. Like if you're looking at the top of the arc, maybe he can spend a little bit more time up there just to amp up that coolness factor. Let me just play it. Oh yeah, it's already super nice, but I think you can just add ever so slightly more. Then with the car, I feel like this boom, 30 to 31, like this might be a little bit too much here, the spacing, and then he's on the same frame for several frames, which is kind of nice because it amps up that cartooniness. But but I would definitely add like one, maybe 1.5 breakdowns here. So instead of let me just instead of from here it goes here and then it stays here, maybe you can just do one more here or something, and then here you can. It feels like if you watch this spot, um, it feels like maybe you can work that arc a little bit more. Um, all right. But overall, like this intro part is looking really cool. I feel like it takes us into the action quite well. It's happening all of a sudden, and we know right off the bat, okay, what's happening? This guy is chasing that guy, and something is gonna go down here. So this is, I think, from like a staging standpoint, I think it's great. Um, okay, so we've kind of landed here. Both vehicles are on the ground. Um, like we talked about, you're gonna make that a little bit sharper. You're gonna give that a guy a little bit more impact. And then here, if you kind of follow his super neon yellow bright face, I feel like this is really cool the way you push him down. Give the guy a little bit of a squash with like he's kind of like this big, and then here he's kind of like still like that. But I think you can maybe overdo that a little bit more. Like this is this is really cool, but here I think you can try as much as possible to squash him down a little bit. And definitely it feels like, he's just after landing, he's already going like this way. He's turning his handlebars to, I guess, turn right for him, so screen left for us, which would immediately take his like center of gravity and his weight, and like the centrifugal force would kind of make him want to move to the other side of the motorcycle. So I think you can either try to make him look pro a little bit more by tilting him like really sharply, like he's fighting those forces, or you would kind of have to do this a little bit sooner, have his body on the other side a little bit faster. It's already super nice the way you do it, but I think we can take that one step further. Uh, and then here also, I feel like you can you can do like move him a little bit lower here. Um, because you've got that really cool bounce. He's going down, then he's going up, and then he's kind of going down, but he stops going down. I would really like to, to see his head like go down and then up and then down again or something. I think especially because of the colorfulness and because it's so easy to see, it would be it would just give the whole thing that little extra. You got something going on here. Boom. I guess maybe got to check it out in the graph editor or something. Um, but he's teleporting way too fast. Uh, so just QC that one a little bit. As for the car, I think this part works pretty well. Like he's falling, and then he's kind of like, I think you can maybe overdo the sliding of it. Like he has his the car has its tail like so, and then he kind of he kind of just goes into like this straight mode, like looking from the top, like if this is this is the highway. Already here on frame 59, it feels like he's almost perfectly on the road and going that way. I think you can still give it one more kind of swing. Just move the car, the front of it a little bit like towards the right, like so. Um, and then have his tail escape that way, and then just give it a nice swerve, And I feel like you can maybe also work a little bit more with. I honestly don't know if you have the controls for it, but I assume you do. Kind of just take the middle of the car, and then like the rotations that go like this. Uh, like whenever the car is turning this way and that way, it also kind of like swings left and right. Um, I'm sure that would give it an extra little bit of dynamicism. Is that a word? If not, I just made it up. And it is a word now. Uh, it's just gonna make it a little bit more dynamic. Um, okay, he's coming. I'm not making the sounds here. Uh, cool. All right. So we got the car being chased. We've got the biker jumping. Woo! All right. So this is kind of a cool pose here. It's just like I'm coming for you pose, It's nice and dynamic. It's really cool. I'm sorry. I guess I guess then he's landing with one leg, and he's landing with the other, like really stomping, like boom, stomping in, I guess maybe even the glass, like giving the driver a heart attack, and then boom, 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 I got you. Yeah, cool. So okay, so let's check this out in detail. Whew. All right, so he's jumping. I feel like again here you could maybe, if you check out the arc, first of all, I'm not sure, is this like a smart bike? Maybe they have those in the future. I don't know. But he feels like he's swerving to the right, and then he's following the I guess the assassin. It's really cool. I wish I had one of these. I just tell it like, hey, come get me. Uh, but it's really cool. I see like you're adding a little bit of like force to it. When he's jumping off, it feels like he's pushing off, and then the bike goes hard left, which is a screen right for us, but it kind of gets stuck here. So maybe, maybe you can give that an extra little curve to make it a little bit more, believable, and a little bit more, less like, like if you check out these frames, it feels like it's just hitting a wall, kind of wall there. And then with the guy, I feel like, sorry, my tablet is acting up. I feel like the way he's jumping up and down, again, you can give it a little bit more hang time here, just like when he enters the screen. Uh, and and I feel like we also need to figure out like what's he looking at, because here at the beginning it's really cool. He kind of feels like, okay, like this is where I'm gonna jump. Um this is where I'm gonna do my stuff, where I'm taking out my gun, and guess I'm shooting the driver. But then here he's kind of looking back to his smart bike, which maybe, he needs to tell the smart bike with his brains, like, hey, smart bike, do this. But I kind of feel like it would be nicer if he would be focused, on the action at hand. So definitely try to do that. And also, I feel like while this pose is really cool here and it's really menacing, I feel like you still need to play around a little bit with the spacing on the arms and the feet. Like, like if you check out this one, poof, like this is a way too much to do in one frame. Um, the other one isn't bad, but then the same here. Like you kind of have the feet A and B, this like superhero pose, but then you keep that pose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames, and then all of a sudden, like this one goes that way, and this one kind of goes backwards. But I think you can still kind of work on that. Like this is also maybe if you look at it with an arc tracker, like you could make a nicer arc here. You can start it a little bit slower. Maybe you would probably already start it on this frame, 88. Um, but also just overall have the legs and the arms move all the time. Like they don't have to do much. Just keep them in motion, because it gets kind of tricky when uh, oops, sorry, like this one here too. We kind of want to see some change to it. It doesn't have to be a lot, but when you're in the air, something is moving all the time, even if it's like slow motion or something. Something definitely uh, needs to happen. And then let me just play this quickly. Cool. All right, so he's jumping up, and then we talked about giving him a little bit more hang time, and then I guess he's falling down, and then he's doing the stomp. I feel like if this stomp is really supposed to be like something like really really forceful, I think you can definitely give it a little bit more time here in the anticipation. Just add a few frames, and then make him go higher maybe, and then boom, like really make it like forceful. Like I really like this frame where he kind of where you take his foot from all the way up here to down there in like one frame. That's really cool. Um, but I think you can make it even stronger if you have kind of like if you're looking at the hips, maybe he's coming from Jesus. He's coming from the top, and then he's doing that little thing, and then he goes even higher, and then he goes down, like um, bam, you know. And then once he does bam, we definitely need to feel that in his upper body, his massive shoulders, and all that part of the assassin and his arms. Like I feel like this kind of overlap thing is probably even missing, because at first I thought, this is like the overlap, but then he's already taking out his gun. So I feel like, you just need to give it that bump with the shoulders and with the upper body. And I know every frame counts. You had like 8 seconds to do this, but if you ever get back to this shot and kind of improve it, just give it a little bit more extra time, and then you can add those little things in there. Um, so let's see. So I guess yeah, I guess I'm not sure if he's penetrating through there or or not, but I also feel like when he's taking the gun, like this is from a spacing standpoint, this is way too much, especially because it feels like, like IK is snapping like da 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 da, like a magnet. Don't do that. You're better than that. We don't need to snap IKs like that. Uh, but then he starts shooting. Let me see. Oh yeah, one more thing. I kind of feel like I kind of feel like we need to show a little bit better the way he takes out the gun, because like his silhouette doesn't really change. Whatever he does doesn't really change. So I kind of feel like maybe if you pull the gun out a little bit more to the left, and we actually see that he has a weapon in his hands. Like this is already super nice because we see his elbow holding the gun, and then we see his arms like this. This is already cool, but his head and his torso is kind of in the way of us to see like what is he actually doing. So I think maybe you kind of want to try and find another pose in there where we can kind of see what's happening, because I feel like that kind of gets lost in all the action. You know what I'm saying? Um, all right. Let me just double check the car because we kind of forgot about the car. I like the way he's jumping and then boom, the car goes down and then it goes up again. Like exactly like these types of motions you can see here. I kind of feel like you can strengthen them back here a little bit, with the bumpiness of it and everything. Mm, okay. And then he starts shooting. And then he has these recoils, which I think you could still work a little bit more with some added overlap. Like you can see his whole upper body and head kind of move upwards because I guess of the shot, like you know. But I think we can still make that a little bit clearer. It's already kind of nice, but yeah. Also the overlap on his hood is really cool. But I think that one is also there are a few frames where it's jumping way up and then way down. I think you can still make that a little bit more organic. And like I kind of feel like here he's shooting this frame, but the hoodie is already up. I kind of feel like when he's moving his upper body up, the hoodie would at first go down and then would go up, like 2 frames later. Uh, boom, yeah, something like 2 frames. Also, I feel like you can really maybe push this hand a little bit back every time he shoots, like bam, bam, bam. Like he's a super strong assassin. I know he's jumping from motorcycles to cars and he's incredible, but just give it a little bit of force. Like he's not that strong to keep this gun in his hand without moving. Like all the kind of motion you kind of are showing in the upper body and the hood. I feel like it first needs to be shown in the recoil in the arm and the shoulder. Like boom, boom, and when this happens, that's what's going to move his upper body, and that's what's going to move his head and his hoodie kind of thing, shawl. I don't know what this is. Um, but yeah, I like that he's doing like how many shots does he do? One, two, one, two, one, two. Yeah, I guess he's an assassin. He doesn't need more than that. Uh, yeah, cool. All right, let's take a look at the bike. I forgot about the bike. I guess it's just driving there. They're like, hey, I'm just driving. Kind of feels like he's going this way all the time, or like he's crooked. I don't know. Maybe you did it this way to make the shot feel more dynamic, like make it like this. But I kind of feel like maybe you can straighten that bike up, and it shouldn't. You don't necessarily need to twist the handlebars to make it look like it's going this way, even though it kind of is not necessarily going this way because it would hit the planking. Um, but uh, that's just me. All right, so let's see the jump. Uh, I guess the assassin is done doing his business. Boom, boom. Okay, he's looking back at his bike, and he's like, okay, my smart bike is there. Um, yeah, I think you can still make this foot a little bit nicer here. It's kind of hovering and everything. And I was also feeling here, I didn't say anything about it, but the way the shot is kind of obstructing that, I'm not sure if that's cool. Um, I know I really like this pose here, and I really like this pose, but maybe you can do something with that foot. Maybe you can see if you can get a nicer silhouette there. Um, I also feel like maybe this knee is a little bit just too much. We'll see. Um, so he's lifting, repositioning, and then jumping. So I feel like before he lifts this foot, you could definitely move him this way, just like a weight shift. Like puts his weight a little bit more instead of like here. Just he would be here. Just put it like go this way. Look at that smiley I just drew. You can go this way, and then once the foot is planted, then you go back with the weight shift that way, and then you get a really nice, even more dynamic, uh, a pose where you can really feel like he's winding up to do the big jump. Um, to do the big jump over to the motorcycle. So yeah, that's nice. Yeah, and then when you do the weight shift, you can have a nice overlap with the gun as well. Like the weight is going this way, then the gun swerves, and then the gun follows. I guess it's a heavy gun. Uh, and then he's jumping, and then he's boom. Okay, cool. So he's jumping. I feel like you can ever so slightly offset what you're doing with the car to be a little bit later, and then just like one frame. And then we have this guy, and then he jumps. And then this pose is really cool. Like it's a super nice superhero pose, but I feel like you can get a little bit more. You can get away with a little bit more like contrapposto here. Uh, you know, hips look that way, body looks that way, or something like that. Like shoulders versus hips. Um, and I feel like the jump itself is a little bit too snappy. Like the way he goes from 146 to 148, I think that's a little bit stretching it. Again, I know you had to be within 8 seconds, which is very constraining, but I would definitely try to add a few frames there. And also I feel like the arc where he's jumping over there, it's more of a like I'm overdoing it obviously, but like it's more of like and then he stays there and then he goes down again. Like try and work in a nicer arc if possible. Uh, and definitely when he's jumping, I would kind of take his weapon and just put it down there. Like he jumps first and then he takes the weapon with him just to show like it's actually made of metal and it's actually heavy. It doesn't it's not like a plastic Nerf gun. It doesn't go with him the moment he jumps. There is a little bit of inertia there and a little bit of extra energy. So you go into this pose. I think you can even try, since the weapon is gonna have that overlap, it's gonna be like so almost. You can already have You can already have the left hand, which is, I guess, the one holding the barrel. You can already have that one a little bit free here, ever so slightly sooner, and then you would get into this pose sooner, 2 frames. We would get to milk that moment a little bit, which is kind of like the superhero moment, like the assassin. Maybe he's the good guy, so maybe the good assassin, the cool assassin, did his job well. Everybody's proud of him, and then we see like his superhero pose, and then he falls on the motorcycle. Um, Again, here I kind of feel like just going back to what we talked about at the beginning here, like I'm not necessarily sure if the forces that are happening here are true or and good. Like he slows down a lot starting here, which is 153, I guess. It's like if we look at the two parts of his jump, A and B, like A is incredibly dynamic and fast, just barely a few frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe. And then B is he's slowing down. He's kind of it feels like there's a crazy wind blowing from this direction, It's making him slow down, which is possible. I've never been on this bridge, but I would try to avoid that. Try to make the jump a little bit nicer. Check out that arc. Give a nice hang time to it, but still feel like make it feel realistic. Um, and then also like this rotation that we see here. Let me just find something that I can use to rotate my phone. Like when he's jumping off the the car, he's like this, and then he stays like this, and then he almost turns 90 degrees, right? I think you like that rotation into that direction. I think that can also definitely, it has to almost start from here. It has to start here because you're gonna have to kind of remake the hero pose, but it has to come from there because as long as like he decides the direction he's going to jump here, and there are no other forces that would make him do like this. I mean, he's a hero, he's an assassin, I know, but just start that rotation earlier so he doesn't change direction mid-air for no apparent reason. Then you put away the gun. Psst, that's really cool. Like using one fluid motion to put away the gun and then getting the hands on the handle. I really like that. I think that's really cool. Uh, I feel like here you can get away with a kind of more dynamic posing where you take that shoulder girdle a little bit, twist it downwards, have him grab this handlebar 2 frames sooner possibly. That would also help you. Like if he has the arms on the handlebar, then he can start twisting his torso to rotate the 90 degrees, to help his body rotate into the position he needs it to be. This is cool here with the wrist. Boom, boom, boom. Like let's see. Okay. And I think another thing that that is kind of needs a little bit of work here is like he is way over here with his head and his upper body and his mass is just like this is his mass, but then he kind of comes back over here. Like maybe he's dragging himself to the smart bike with this hand, but you either need to kind of strengthen that or like give it a reason for going like this. Um, what's stopping him from continuing this way, right? Like what's making him come back to the other side? You definitely need to kind of make him grab sooner and then make maybe that grab inform the body of that change of direction. This is cool here with the head. He's going down, boing. Maybe you could bring it a little bit higher here again just to give it that nice bounce, like boing. Okay, let's look at the car. Kind of forgot about the car. This is really cool actually. Like, whoops, sorry. Like driver gets shot, boom, he moves this way, so the car starts going that way. That's really cool. Um, Bam, bam, cool. I kind of feel like here-ish, the car kind of gets lost behind the motorcycle. You can maybe raise its front and make him like crash massively, just to make it more interesting, and just to make the aftermath of the assassination a little bit more impactful. You can definitely try and heighten that sense of this car is done and the driver is done by making that crash bigger, making his derailing more dramatic. So, like instead of like so, the car could be more like so ish. Just so he's like really sliding, and he's probably also falling off the bridge. Like he goes down afterwards, which we don't necessarily see, but we can imagine. Like, okay, this was a successful assassination. And then we have our hero. He's coming this way, and then he's swerving, which is really cool. He's taking all his body weight. This is what is really nicely done here at the end. Whoa. Yeah, this is awesome. Um, I would definitely like it if you would plant the foot before the wheel comes in, because we can kind of guess what's happening. We can see right after, okay, his foot is down. But I would definitely want to see his foot plant already before it's before the wheel is hiding what's happening. Maybe you can move his knees ever so slightly higher. uh, this is really cool, the way the bike and the foot are swerving that way. I think that's really nicely done. This is really cool with the overlap. And then he's putting up his foot. Maybe you can just check the spacing here. 1, 2, 3. Maybe just give it a little bit more time. And then he's raising his front wheels and drives off into the sunset. Really cool. Really nice. Um, maybe you can kind of overdo him looking that way ever so slightly. He's kind of checking. Okay, did I kill the guy? I did. I'm awesome. Time to turn around. Uh, like, yeah. No, I think that's it. Overall, it's really really cool. Like, you know, love it. I could easily imagine this being part of a sequence. Um, I kind of want to see more of this guy now. The tech noir assassin coming to whatever streaming service you're subscribed to. Cool, man. Nice job. I think you know, I think overall this is already super strong. Um, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from you for maybe in the next Anim challenge or something. Everybody who was listening or watching, thanks for tuning in. See you possibly next time. Bye bye.